Hi, my name is Gina Eilers, and the topic of this second video, where I'm working my way to a full discussion of the civil rights needs for transgender persons. The title is Things Different, and that reminds me of the background. I'm sorry that you see this really nasty basement background. This just happens to be the best place in my house right now for me to have quiet so I can make these videos without interruption. Things different, because I have this condition called gender dysphoria. Dysphoria means ill feelings, so I've had a lifelong of ill feelings about my self-identity and the sex I was identified at birth, because obviously I was male and I have male DNA. Well, it causes a terrible dysphoria, ill feelings, a lot of self-hatred as the years went on. And that has prompted me over the past couple of years to move toward where I am now, to transitioning both physically and socially. And I know I look different. I'm pretty happy with how I look. I'm looking better all the time. But I know I'm 6'1". I have still male faced features. And I have a voice that it's not as masculine as some, but it's certainly not feminine. People take me for a guy very easily, so I look different. And that presents a lot of problem with people, especially when we get to that ultimate, seems to me, ticklish subject of the use of public bathrooms and locker facilities. Things very personal. I understand. I want my personal space too. But think about things different. Goodness, I just think about kids. I know I was this way, and I watched it with my kids and with my grandchildren, how all we have to do is look at that new food on our plate and say, I don't like it, and reject it, and insist that it tastes terrible, though all we've done is look at it. Even adults, though. I still have so many relatives and friends who are just so bigoted against people of other colors, and people of other colors who are exactly the same toward people of my color and ethnic background. We just plain reject things different. Or it could be cultural things. I'm not a fan of the ballet. I've never been to one. The little bit I've seen, though, no thank you. So I have to be very careful with that. We simply reject things at face value, and then we don't give them the opportunity to be learned, understood, appreciated. And so people like me go out in the world and we look different. I look different from a regular male, and I look different from a regular female. I got a clue, though, for you. I know a whole lot of, they call them cis women and cis men. CIS means that's the person identifies both the same brain and body with themselves. So a female both in brain and body, a male both in brain and body. So cisgendered people who look a lot different than anything I was ever used to growing up. I was not used to people who are like heavily tattooed, or there's guys who are extremely scruffy, or women who look more masculine, or extremely over made up and fancily dressed and everything like that. Short men, tall women, large women, thin women, well-dressed people, folks who can't afford the stuff that's quite as nice, or folks who simply don't pay that much attention to their presentation. Now, I wouldn't go out in public like that, but they do. It's not my business to tell them how to go out in public. As long as what? They have shirts and shoes, then they get service, right? So that's the next step to me. The first step was yesterday's video. The first video I made was the condition that causes me to have this. And I remind you, the transgender experience is highly individualized. These are my opinions, shared by many and not shared by everybody, especially when it comes to why I'm in this position of transitioning. But on this one, I hope this topic today is universal. There's almost everybody in the world looks different in a certain way. When we look different to a larger degree, man, then that's where people are challenged. And challenged to do what? To just stick up their nose and say yuck, like some kid with a plate of broccoli foist in front of them? Or for adults, attack like adults. And to say, okay, there's someone different. But what do I know about that person? As far as I know, that person is respectable, honest, hardworking, kind, all kinds of wonderful attributes. That might be where I go next, because it's been a year now since I've gotten involved with the trans community here in Indianapolis, and I've met a lot of really good people. And I want to tell you about them because they deserve to be known, because they are important people as human beings, as Americans. And there are a lot of really good people whom I like and admire very much. And a lot of them are very different from me. Me, the conservative, traditional Christian. And a lot of them are not Christians, are very liberal, far from traditional. But getting to know them, they're not that different from me. They're good folks. I admire them. And they are worthy of being able to live freely and pursue happiness. Enough for now. Thanks. Bye.